Hey guys, so we've done it. We're totally official now. We've got our New Jersey license plate. The bike is now registered in New Jersey. We were able to get a title issued for it. So let's go ahead and get this Vermont plate off of here, straighten up this bracket, and put the new plate on. So there goes the old Vermont plate. Right. It's good enough for now. Let's get this plate on here, and I will, next time I get to the auto parts store, or I'll have to order some online, I'll get some bolts to keep this plate on here in a much nicer fashion. But it's on there. Like I said, we are now official in New Jersey here, which is fantastic.
The next day.
So a bit of history. I registered this bike in Vermont because it didn't have a title, and Vermont historically does not title vehicles that are more than 15 years old, meaning that you can register a vehicle in the state without one. Vermont also historically did not require you to be a resident of Vermont to register a vehicle there. You could do it by mail and just send in the paperwork and your payment, and they'll send you your registration and plates. These two things combined kind of became known as the Vermont loophole, because once you have a registration in Vermont, whether you have a title or not, it then becomes much easier to transfer that registration into another state. And the new state will, with some exceptions and kind of at the discretion of the DMV, will issue a new title and registration when you transfer the registration, meaning it's an easy way to acquire a title for a vehicle, which was fantastic for keeping old vehicles on the road, restoring old vehicles, barn finds especially, that the old titles are, lost to the sands of time. Now I keep saying previously because, I should say I keep saying historically, because as of July 2023, as far as I know, Vermont is changing the Vermont loophole laws. It's apparently going to be much more difficult to register older vehicles. There's going to be a process to it. I'm not sure what that process is, and I'm sure a lot smarter people than me are going to figure that out in the coming months. But I wanted to add to the conversation what I can. And what I can add is being able to still transfer a current Vermont registration into the state of New Jersey. So I have a current Vermont registration. It was good through August of 2023. So the end of this month, currently when I'm recording this vehicle. So for my situation, a little bit of backstory on it, because I did have an issue with the DMV, but it wasn't really New Jersey's fault, it was kind of Vermont's fault. So when I filled out the paperwork and I sent it to Vermont, I filled out the make for this bike as Galera and the model as 106SS. So when I was standing at the counter at the DMV and they were working on the paperwork transferring the title, they told me that the registration that I received was wrong. The DMV said the make needs to be Galera, but on the registration Vermont sent, it had the make as Sears. This New Jersey told me this was probably just a typo on Vermont's end, but I needed to get it corrected to transfer the registration. So I found out about this at about 11 a.m. on Friday, July 28th, 2023. I called the Vermont DMV, right when I got home from the New Jersey DMV. I sat on hold for literally an hour until I got somebody on the phone. I explained the situation and they confirmed that the records were correct in their system and that I had filled out the paper correctly and that it indeed was just a typo on the registration that they sent me. So they said they would mail me a new registration. It only took about 15 minutes of talking on the phone with them to get it straightened out. I guess the registration ended up in the mail that Friday afternoon. Whee! And I received it in the mail the following day, or the following Monday, which was July 31st, 2023. So I'm giving the dates that I did all this because I was still able to transfer the Vermont registration after the end of July. When, to my understanding, they're implementing these changes. So the next day after that was Tuesday, August 1st, 2023. What I brought to the DMV was the current and corrected Vermont registration, New Jersey's for application for vehicle registration form, and the universal title application. They are two forms that look like this. This is the application for vehicle registration form, and this is the universal title application. I'll have links in the description to these forms. These are the two forms that you'll need for New Jersey, plus any identification that the DMV requires, license, if however many points of ID you're going to need. So I brought the corrected stuff to the New Jersey DMV. I went to the Newton location, which they're always fantastic there. I know the joke is the DMV is always horrible, but the Newton location is always fantastic for me. Never super crowded whenever I go, and they're always very helpful with all the issues I've had. So I was only there for about half an hour total, waiting in line and doing everything. $125 later, I think it was $65 for the new title application, $60 for the registration, something like that, but it came to $125 total. I walked out with New Jersey registration, the title, and the plates for the bike, which was fantastic. So I can confirm that as of August 1st, 2023, New Jersey is still transferring VT registrations without any issue, as long as the paperwork you bring them is correct. So if you have a Vermont registration, make sure all the info is correct. If you have a classic, car or bike registered in Vermont and you're thinking about transferring it to New Jersey, try to do it with as much time left on your Vermont registration as possible in case you run into an issue like I did. With Vermont changing its laws, it's best to get the vehicle transferred to your actual state because you'll have a title, all the correct documentations. For me, getting that done, it really feels like a weight has been lifted off of me, and it really feels like there's been new breath, new life breathed into this beautiful machine of mine that I absolutely love. So go ahead and do that. Best of luck getting your machines transferred to New Jersey. I know if you have a vintage machine, car or motorcycle registered in Vermont, I'm sure you've been kind of thrown for the loop with all the changes in the news, hearing about, not sure what's going on. So getting those transferred is, great, because we love these machines. We want to keep them on the road, and we want to keep having fun with them. So, like I said, I can confirm New Jersey is still doing it for the time being, as long as your Vermont registration is still good. New Jersey didn't give me any issues, even with this weird bike. You do have to make sure, obviously, that the vehicle is insured. My insurance is through State Farm. They gave me absolutely no trouble with it. When I called, I said, hey, I've got a weird vehicle I'm looking to get insured. And when I told the lady on the phone about the bike, she's like, hold on, I have to get all this info, go to underwriting, make sure it's okay. She did. She gave me a call back, and it was absolutely no issue. So that's it. Best of luck saving your machines. Let me know how the process goes for you, and I hope to see you out on the road.